Today we're going to talk about how to be an emotionally stable leader. Okay, my name is Michael Barayev, and I built a sales team of over 150 plus people in less than 2.5 years, and we did that with zero money invested. And now we have a solar company that's growing from coast to coast like butter on toast. We have about 30 guys down here in South Florida, and we're expanding. We're going to go to Tampa, Orlando, and all those different beautiful places. But what I want to talk about today is emotional stability. And a lot of us, I'm actually the last person that should be talking about emotional stability because I've been like an emotional roller coaster my entire life. But I've come to a conclusion. I've learned how to kind of balance myself and kind of improve myself in that area tremendously. And I think that it can, my lessons and some of the tips that I can give you guys today is going to help you out tremendously because, being emotionally stable is not only important for your team, for your company, for your employees, but it's really important for you, right? Because you can't have success if you're an emotional yo-yo, if you're an up and down roller coaster, right? It's very difficult to convince anyone to do business with you. It's very difficult to persuade investors to invest in your business if you have a up and down situation with your mind and your emotions, right? And I understand, like, my background is a very tough, young childhood from 0 to 19 is chaotic, foster care, mental, emotional abuse, domestic violence, all kinds of nonsense, all kinds of things, crazy things, right? But that was trauma that kind of took me into a deep, dark hole and up and down and up and down and up and down. Anybody can say something and trigger me like that. And I had to learn at a young age, is this going to be me forever or am I going to change this, right? And at 19 years old, I made a decision to start changing that. It took me years. I'm still working on it. And it took me a long time to kind of get myself to that equilibrium, And I think I've pretty gotten to a good place because, like I said, I'm still working on it. It's still challenging, but I catch myself when the emotions spike up, when somebody says something to me, and I'm like, I kind of like watch the words kind of walk right by me. Like someone could say something stupid. I'm like, oh, interesting. And I don't let it internalize, right? And that's a very difficult thing to do as a leader, okay? Because as a leader, when you're building your teams, when you're building your companies, people are going to say tons of shit. Half the room is going to love you, half the room is going to hate you. You're going to kind of figure out like, why? Because you want to make everyone happy, right? At least that's how I was. And I was like, I want everyone to like me, please. And that was a challenge. That was a challenge because I had to learn that all these words, all these things, all these little triggers that everyone's stepping on, if I can learn to control myself and my team sees me control myself, they're going to respect me, they're going to look up to me. Okay? And I learned a long time ago, emotional stability comes from this one thing. Commitment to continuity develops and breeds emotional stability. Meaning, okay, in English, you can put the formula, right? Commitment to continuity. Doing something consistently over and over and over and over and over again breeds emotional stability. For example, I've been going to the gym since I was 17 years old. I'm 30 years old now. That's 13 years of consistency. I remember it was snowing, it was raining, it was hailing. I remember I was in different countries. It didn't matter. I gotta go to the gym. Not necessarily for my muscles to grow and all that stuff or losing fat, whatever it may be, but because I made a commitment at 17, I'm not going to stop that. And to be honest with you, unless you take away my legs and my arms and I'll be a stump, a pretty wealthy stump though, right? I'm not stopping. Not because of, of other reasons, but I made a commitment, guys. And that commitment literally keeps my emotions stable. Because when you commit to something and you're consistent with it, over and over and over and over again, you create that commitment and consistency in your life, that pattern where nothing can break into it. What ends up happening is you become an emotionally stable person. Many people miss that. Many people create circumstances in their life where there's no stability in their actions. You want to have emotional stability, you need to have stable actions, consistent actions. Go to the gym 4, 5, 6 times a week. Eat healthy or eat whatever needs to get done in your life. Read a book every single day. Last year, in 2021, I read 70 plus books, 71 or 72 books. I think it was 70 or 71, right? Definitely over 70. I have it all written down. Year before that, I read 66. Year before that, I read 60-something. Because I'm consistent. And I'm not just trying to pat myself on the back. I'm telling you what helped me to get myself in a better emotional equilibrium. I wanted to get myself to the point where that if anyone says, when somebody points a finger at me, says anything to me, I'm able to control myself and not let that affect me. And that all stems from your consistent piston actions. Because when you're consistent and you're committed to something, you're doing it over and over and over again, your equilibrium kicks in. You feel amazing. You feel like you're going towards something. The progress, the journey, you feel good. And you will not explode on someone when someone curses you out because you're so focused on what you need to get done. And when you're consistent into something, there is no time for emotions. There is no time for ups, downs, lefts, rights. Because you're focused on something, right? Commitment to continuity develops and breeds emotional stability. And I implore you to focus on figuring out what you can do to get consistent. What can you do to get committed? What can you do to get yourself doing something over and over and over again and mastering that and getting better every single day? Because I promise you, once you figure that out and you create that consistency, your emotions will be in equilibrium and you'll be stable mentally. You'll be stable emotionally and nobody can take you off. Nobody can make you feel crazy. Nobody can make you blow up or have an irrational response because now you're a consistent piston with your emotions now. Your consistent piston with your actions will lead to that emotional stability. And remember, nobody wants to follow a leader that's up and that's down. And that's up and that's down. If my team comes into the office and they don't know what to expect with Michael, how is Michael going to respond today? How is Michael going to react today? They're not going to want to follow me. Because nobody wants to come into an office or an environment or a business where the leader is not emotionally stable. So if you've seen people come in and out, left and right, and you can't keep a team together, maybe it's your emotions. Right? Outside of the other things that we need to focus on, but maybe it's your emotional inconsistencies. Maybe it's your ups and downs and lefts and rights. Think about that. And maybe you need to get back into the boardroom and say, okay, what can I do to become a better me so I can create more better consistent actions, so I can become more consistent in these X, Y, Z things, so I can become more emotionally stable in this area. It's very important. And I promise you, once you have that equilibrium and that consistency, people will flock to you because now they're following you because they're not consistent with their emotions and they're going to want to follow you because you are. People will always follow someone that they admire, that has something or is doing something that they're not doing themselves. So it's very important for your team to look at you and respect you. And that's how you create leadership. All right? So I implore you, go out there, figure out how you can be consistent and what actions you can take to be consistent. And when I say consistent, I'm not talking about 1 week. Okay? I'm talking about months. I'm talking about years. And this is where the challenge kicks in. Some of you guys that watch this video, or gals, you're gonna be consistent for a week, maybe a month, maybe a couple of months. But how amazing would it be to watch this video and year in and year out you're consistent with whatever you say you're going to be consistent to? I promise you, the results that will come from that is going to explode. I promise you. Test me. Test me. Go out there and be consistent with that one thing so you can create that emotional stability. All right? I love you. And if you haven't yet subscribed, click down there below and subscribe to the video. Like the video. Share the video with someone that may need to hear this video and get better at emotional stability. And I appreciate you. And I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.